We've got the next video in the Understanding the Officer series, and this series has done extremely well, honestly. Each one of the videos, we've done 5 so far. This is going to be number 6. Each one of the videos has done exceptionally well, way better than I even anticipated. So it's telling me there is a pretty good demand there, and there are quite a few players that are seeking this information. So today's video is going to be dedicated to Guardian of Truth. Let's go ahead and get the video kicked off. Welcome back. I hope everyone is doing well as always. I am super excited for this video. We've got Guardian of Truth that is going to be featured in today's video, the OG pay-to-win officer. But before we get started, if you enjoy this video and want to continue to see the Understanding the Officer videos, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you were not already, so you don't miss any future uploads. Let's try to get this video to at least 125 likes. All right, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump in and start talking about Guardian of Truth. All right, our man Guardian of Truth is who we are featuring today, and like I said, he is the kind of OG, if you will, pay-to-win officer. He was the first officer that was ever accessible kind of behind a paywall, but he has been in Warpath since day one, at least since day one of me playing, and I started playing literally within the first 48 hours of the iOS release back in March of 2021. So he has been around for a very, very long time, and he is also a lot cheaper to get than some of the newer kind of pay-to-win officers, if you will. The exclusive lounge officers are what I am referring to. Those are an average of about $2,500 US if you want to buy all of the packs to fully awaken them. It has been obviously over 3 years now since I have purchased all of the Guardian of Truth packs, but if I remember correctly, it was somewhere in the ballpark of $300 to $400 total. If you are a new player and you have recently gone through and purchased all of the packs to get Guardian of Truth, feel free to let me know in the comments how much it actually is, because it's, like I said, it's been over 3 years, so I have forgotten, but if memory serves me right, it's in the ballpark of $300 to $400. Now, he is a phenomenal officer in the early game. Now, after time goes on, and when I started playing Warpath, there was not nearly as many officers as there are now. So that's the catch. It was even more worth it to me and all of the people that were playing the game back when I first started, because there wasn't other options to look forward to. It was just kind of Guardian of the Truth was the big man on the block. And so if you had him, you definitely had a clear advantage. And if you didn't, you didn't. You couldn't just wait 75 days for good, more good officers to unlock to kind of offset him. It just was what it was. Now there are more options, which kind of begs the question, is he worth it? Which I have also made a video about that specifically. Feel free to check it out if you have not already, but we're going to break it down a little bit in this video too. Now, the quick overview of him is he is a tank-specific officer. He is definitely geared towards field fighting. He offers a pretty decent lineup of skills, especially, like I said, in the early game. So if you do have the money, and I'm obviously not encouraging anybody to spend any money. If you have it and you want to, great, do it. If you don't and you can't, then don't. It's a personal choice. It's a case-by-case basis. I'm just giving you my thoughts and opinions, and you can make your decision from there. But he is going to be a dominant force in the early game. So if you do want an advantage and you are investing heavily into tanks and developing your tank units and investing into tank tech, then he is probably a good officer to invest in. Now, he will not remain a super relevant officer for a super long time. By the time you get to the mid, and especially once you get to the later stages of the game, he is going to find his way kind of on the back burner of officers for your tanks, because there are just too many other high value officers available, even for completely free, that they're just better. Pound for pound, they're just better. Now, of course, you can still get some value out of Guardian of Truth through the officer skill training system. You can rob this skill, which is going to increase the firepower of your tank and helicopter troops by 30%. Also, you can increase the penetration damage of this officer's troop by 40%. So there are some skills there that can be utilized through the skill training system. So he's not ever going to be a total loss. He's just not going to be kind of that mainstay officer for a super long period of time, unless you run a super unique, super niche setup, which I've seen a few people do. Not very many people do it, but some do, where you're running like legitimately 5 tanks. Maybe that's a situation where Guardian of the Truth would really be worth it to you. But for most people that run, 1 or 2 tanks, maybe even 3 tanks, and maybe an ATG or a couple of artillery units or a rocket launcher, something like that, then he's not going to hold his value for a very long time. So I guess to summarize all that up into a nice, well-packaged, condensed down conclusion, if you've got the money and you want an early game advantage, he is worth it. If you don't want to spend the money, or you don't really want to concern yourself or don't care about an early game advantage, and you're okay waiting the 75 or 180 days to get the other officers unlocked, then probably I would suggest saving your money. So again, it's a case-by-case basis. You could even go the route of buying just enough of the packs to get his statues to fully max out level 5, just one individual skill that you want to use later in the game for the officer skill training system. If you want to go that route, and that's a perfectly fine route to go, it'd save you money as well. But if you wanted to go that route, I would suggest investing in one of these 2 skill options, his 3rd or 4th skill, whichever one makes the most sense for you. But if you, like I said, wanted to go that route, wanted to save a little bit of money, but wanted to get some value out of him through the skill training system, that would be an option for you to take. Now let's talk about a couple of officers that Guardian of Truth pairs really well with. Now, we're going to talk about who he pairs well with in the early game, so other Generation 1 officers. The reason I want to keep it to just other Generation 1 officer pairings is because he really does kind of fall off unless, again, you run a super unique setup. He really does kind of fall off, and he's not even going to be in the conversation of a main officer that you're going to be using, so there's no point in really having that conversation. But if you do invest in him early, I'm going to show you who he pairs really well with to get the maximum amount of advantage in the early game while you're using it. The first option is going to be War Machine. War Machine is just a workhorse. He does great. He increases troop damage, troop firepower, also reduces the load time of troops. I mean, he is just all around a phenomenal officer and does really, really well on tanks, especially with Guardian of the Truth. Another good option is going to be Warrior Whiz. Now, he is going to offer a variety of unique skills. He's got a couple of special skills as well. He's going to increase or have a chance for critical strike hits, which is going to deal 150% damage. He's also going to give additional damage buffs. So all of that goes really well with Guardian of Truth as well. Another officer that he goes really well with, surprisingly, is going to be Bloody Mary. She's going to have a variety of different beneficial skills in the early game. She's going to increase the damage of the troop by 15%. She's going to increase the troop speed, which is primarily what is a draw to her for tanks specifically, because if your tank can move faster, it can get in and out of combat at a faster rate. People that might be chasing you down aren't going to be able to catch you, so there's a big draw there. She also offers a field recovery option, so while you're in combat, you can pull back, start to heal up a little bit. While in combat, you're going to get that advantage. And then her tactical skill, while it isn't anything mind-blowing, it actually is beneficial because it can increase the prep time of the enemy officer skills by 1%, or a delay, if you will, through her flashbang. So pretty good officer to pair with Guardian of Truth overall as well. So with that being said, that's a pretty full breakdown, not a long video, but a pretty full breakdown there of Guardian of Truth. Some of what he does well, kind of where he starts to fall off, some officers in the early game he pairs well with. Let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts and comments. If you're a new player, do you plan on fully investing in awakening him? Are you going to invest in just a single skill of his? Are you just going to not even worry about or invest in him at all? What's your plan? What's your approach? And what are your thoughts? If you have stuck around and made it this far into the video, if you have access to Discord and are not already in our community Discord server, the link to that is going to be in the description of the video. Click on that link. It'll take you right into the community Discord server. Whether you're a new player, have questions, want to learn some more, or if you're a veteran player and just want to come hang out and get to know more people in the community, doesn't matter. Absolutely everybody is welcome. As always, thanks for taking the time to watch the video. We'll see you on the next one.